Hey yo, I am Vila,
I am Roeun.
And I'm Ricky.
and welcome to the Full Timers Podcast. It's a bi-weekly show where we have candid conversations where we talk about the nuances of adulthood. I got a mint in my mouth. Sorry.
I was
What's
like,
up,
why
y'all?
are you talking so weird?
Hey,
What's up? Welcome back.
Hello.
It is a Sunday night. We're recording this a little bit later than usual. The weekend was a long weekend for most of us, all of us. I went to a wedding on Saturday night. It was pretty fun. Shout out to them. What y'all do?
I played Death Stranding.
Oh yeah.
Finally out. I'm excited.
I don't know. Does that deserve applause? How is it?
It's very, very interesting.
Okay.
I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you told me earlier. You say you played for 20 hours so far.
Yeah.
What's the percentage of completion?
I have no clue. I really don't know.
It doesn't tell you anything.
It tells you how many hours you've played for, but
That's it.
I don't think it tells you a percentage yet. There's just a lot going on.
So is it anything like Metal Gear since it's a Hideo Kojima game?
There are some aspects like very similar mechanics and like game design choices that are similar to like MGS5, like the last MGS game.
Mm.
Definitely in his style though. Like you can definitely tell it's from Kojima.
Is it like survival too? In a sense.
Oh, not so much. Like it has like light. I guess light survival elements. You got a stamina gauge and a health gauge. Like very light stealth too. But it pretty much is like a post-apocalyptic delivery game.
Are you following what the story is yet, or no? Because I know you were still confused. I'm still confused about what the story is.
Yeah, after like 20 hours, I'm still pretty confused. They haven't really explained much. Like, I've gotten some idea, but
Yeah. So you're barely into the plot.
yeah, I'd say
Okay.
so. They
Dang.
still need to explain a lot in there.
I feel like you're gonna spend another 100 hours on it, probably.
Probably, I don't doubt it. That's how much time I spent on MGS5.
Yeah. Are you exploring every inch of the map, like how you did was it MGS5?
Yeah, I'm trying to, and it's just it's a lot. I'm telling you, man. There's like a lot of different types of terrain and rivers to cross, and because like you're delivering all these packages, you have them on your back, and you have to like maintain your weight and balance it. Make sure you don't like lean to one side or the other, and you got to use ladders and like ropes to get everywhere. It's really interesting. There's like nothing like it.
Yeah. Dang, man. No. Hopefully you get back to your normal life after the game's over.
Yeah, we'll see.
What's up, Roeun?
what's up? Had a busy week. Then Saturday, I hung out with a couple friends that I haven't seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
We went to DC and just had a little bit of fun. Came back probably late-ish, and came back into town probably like say 6:37ish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, then go back to my normal Sunday routine to go into bed.
You slept all day?
Nah, I woke up super early this morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something I normally don't do on a working day during the week.
Sleeping in or waking up early? You mean?
Yeah, waking up early.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a plan for a special guest, special guest. One of your uncles, Ricky, couldn't make it, but it's all right. As they say, the show must go on. Jinx.
Okay.
Knock on wood, but he knocked on a cushion. All right, so today's episode is, I guess, the generational gaps.
Yes.
Or what do you want to call it? Generation X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Sure.
The
Generation X versus the millennials.
Yeah, and Generation Z, that's a lot to know. We're watching the game while we're talking, but that's a lot to know. Earlier in the week, last week, I went to a conference. Sorry, I still got this mint. I went to a conference for work. One of the speakers, or the main speaker, her name is Temple Grandin. She's a professor in, animal livestock, animal science, and some other stuff. She's pretty famous in Colorado or around the nation. She's on a spectrum of autism, which also makes her like pretty prominent in the field. But she's on the older side, she's about 70 something. And the whole talk, she was like, it's like she was taking a shot at video games. Like she was blaming video games for how the younger generation is not really,
They're ruining themselves.
in a sense, but also not having working skills or real life skills,
I see.
which I get. But it's just the way she framed her words, like she was taking a dig at video games. But she also said that, like, video games aren't bad. Like, if you want to be into video games, like, if you're not trying to develop a game, then you know what I'm saying. Like, all you do is playing. You're not really
Like if you're just
making
playing, then you're not doing anything.
yeah. Like you're not making it. You're not part of the process, kind of thing of making it. Like, if you're just playing it just to kill time and not do anything else, then that's gonna be a problem. But I don't know. I know you're a gamer, so I'm trying to figure out what your take is.
Well, what about like watching movies or TVs or something? You know, you don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can enjoy that without being in the process of it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I feel like those are more. I mean,
Or
obviously
just
more
about
like
the same.
but like more like you're spectating. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like video games are interactive. There's a lot of elements from other medias that go into a video game. You know, it can have a storyline and this and that.
But I think that her main thing is that you're not learning real life skills in the meantime. I don't know. It's weird.
It's like it's taking up too much time of people's times.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know. If you want my take, I guess I think it's up to the individual to
it is.
balance their life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I'm still learning how to be an adult, but I think I've got a pretty solid grasp of being responsible and balancing that out, you know, work and play.
Right.
But that's just me. I try to maintain a balanced life.
Yeah. Another thing she brought up was like, she's also, I guess, disappointed in that how schools, and we kind of talked about this in our, was it the schools episode or was it school episode?
I think so. Yeah.
She was also kind of complaining that woodshop and home economics and all those type of classes aren't in schools anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked it up on why they're not in schools. They say it's because they felt like, or whatever, teachers or higher ups from that field say that if they feel like those skills could be learned at home during that period when they first started taking those classes out.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking about it now, I'm like, well, if both parents are working a lot and most likely never home, who's going to teach those skills, you know, to the kids? If they expect the kids to learn that at home.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I mean, you do have like YouTube and stuff, but that can only go so far, I guess, without. Because that's more like for a general audience. Like, some people learn, they got to be hands on.
Yeah.
Like one-on-one learning. So, yeah, I mean.
But for us, they had you had a home ec. I didn't take home ec. Woodshop was slowly fading away while we were in grade school.
Mm-hmm. I took those both, home ec and.
In middle school, right?
Home ec in middle school, woodshop. Yeah, middle school.
Yeah. So I didn't take any of those classes. But I think now they're gone now. I think. I feel like it. I
don't hear anyone talk about it. So.
Yeah. Because when you watch like old movies and TV shows, they're always like in the woodshop class kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like those classes should come back because they aren't really being taught at home, really. So,
right.
And
like, is that to say, like, they should teach more practical skills?
Yes. And we did talk about this earlier too. Like, we don't need algebra, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't need. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I do agree. Like, to an extent, definitely. There's a lot that school or maybe your, parents don't teach you.
Mm-hmm.
Like certain skills that you should have. Yeah,
I feel like they should at least introduce or plant those seeds of life skills or trades in schools. Because then sometimes not a lot of kids want to go to college or are able to go to college. So if they have a an awareness of that, like say welding or something,
Mm-hmm.
or shop, or I don't know, then they'll probably dive more into that after graduating high school, whatever,
Yeah.
and not go to college.
Yeah, because I mean, those skills are still going to be needed in the
Mhm.
future.
Yeah. On the news, I don't know if y'all caught it on the internet or anything, but there's a new slur now, a derogatory term for older folks. Did you?
Yeah, it's.
I didn't
I
hear.
mean,
What
it's
is
all
it?
over the internet and stuff.
Boomer? It's what you are you familiar with the term boomer?
Yeah, but when I heard from my generation, they called it baby boomers.
Yeah, it's where that word comes from, boomers. So there was a New Zealand Senate or whatever it was lady. She was talking about climate change on the floor, like a
Mhm.
big speech, and some heckler, another I don't know what you call a Senate seat person, heckled. I couldn't hear what that person was saying, but she responded to the heckler saying, "Okay, boomer." I guess that means old person, out of touch,
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
from that generation,
Mhm.
the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know what the baby boomer generation was, Roeun, would you like to explain? You don't have to.
No, my take was the I guess it'd be grandpa's time
Pretty much.
before daddy's time.
So yeah, pretty much. So boomers are baby boomers, the generation after or the offspring from was it World War II. Their birth years spanned between 1946 to 1964, roughly.
Uh huh.
So the context behind just the term in that generation is that they are widely associated with privilege. They grew up in a period of increasing affluence / wealth and a part of widespread post-war subsidies in housing and education. So they were more wealthier, and they're also criticized for the increase of consumerism. Yeah,
Hmm.
pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
And that that era, that generation, whatever, they did have a lot more money than generations following.
Yes.
So especially now,
Mm.
and they think like you ever hear like older folks say, back in my day it was we get a house for, and then we get a house and then we do other things and we didn't complain because
Yeah,
they had a lot of
back in
money
my
already
day.
and homes were cheap
Mhm.
compared to now and all that stuff.
They
Like-
had a easier time with the finances.
Yeah, for sure. And like they was saying, like, yeah, I finished college with just a part-time jobs, like because college is dirt cheap. Back
That's
then.
pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did say that back then.
Yeah, in college you
Wow.
can't. Part-time job barely pays for your school books.
Yeah, man.
It's insane.
That tuition.
Yeah. So, how do we get started? Start with Generation X.
Yeah. Well, so my first question: why did they? After I guess the baby boomers, was it X?
Mm. I think it was the silent generation, and then I think it was
Boomers?
Generation X.
Oh, well. Why did they call it X, Y, and Z for the last?
I have no
three?
idea. I didn't
My
look that
question.
up.
Like, what's next?
So there was a. I also looked this up. There was a. I don't know, like a contest, quote unquote, like how to name the next generation. Somebody suggested naming after the Greek alphabet, which is I think is pretty cool, like Generation Alpha, after Generation
Alpha, Omega.
Z. Yeah.
I don't know if any generation wants to be Generation Beta.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. Another person suggested maybe Roman numerals, but it's like
Too many numbers to remember.
It is
What, Gen 1, 2,
probably
3, 4?
yeah.
The whole alphabet.
They'll figure it
Generation
out.
X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I never thought about why that was coined the term X, Y, and Z. There is a silent generation. I think that's from the Korean
Isn't-
War era.
Oh. I thought it was going to be like
Or,
the
no,
Great Depression.
no,
like
I'm
way
sorry.
back.
That's after Boomers. No, before Boomers. Sorry.
So like Great Depression.
The Great Depression era.
They were pretty silent back then.
Yeah, and I think it was a silent generation, and then it was Baby Boomers,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
and then I think it's Generation X.
Okay.
Yes. So Generation X, I think one of us is Generation X, or at least the tail end of it. Rud.
Yeah. Agreed.
What year were you born again?
80s.
80? 1980?
Mm-hmm.
So you are technically at the very final year of Generation X, which was 1965 to 1980.
Yeah.
I did a Wikipedia search on what Generation X is. They said they're mostly the offspring of baby boomers.
Yes.
So our parents are baby boomers. I think your parents are baby boomers too.
Mhm.
My parents are.
Yeah.
But they're not Americans, so I don't know
Mm.
if they're classified as boomers. I'm gonna read this off, and I'm gonna get your see if you agree with any of these statements. So they say Generation X are latchkey children. Are you know that?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's basically they're children who are less with less adult supervision because of because of increasing divorce rates and as at the time where both parents had to enter the workforce.
Yeah. That's true.
It was also called the sexual revolution.
Yeah, I remember that growing up as a kid.
So Ricky gave me the weirdest eye. So it's
Why they call them that?
because of the rising divorce rates, their single parent or guardian started bringing home different companions.
Oh,
So,
Yeah. Agreed.
and the child would see that, and I think that would kind of conform their brain like, oh, that's
I see.
normal.
Right.
Mhm.
So, the emergence of AIDS and HIV,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the tail end, so that doesn't
Yeah,
really affect
yeah.
you. And it was the generation where sex education was taught in schools
Mm-hmm.
and saying that sex is bad because of AIDS and HIV. There's also the crack epidemic.
Yep.
I won't get into the politics of that because
Nope,
there's
nope,
a lot
nope.
more into that. Because of the drugs, it resulted in more foster care.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first generation to have early computers in schools and homes.
Yep.
What was an early computer like? Just a big ass.
Gigantic.
Yeah, it was like the CRT tube, and then was it a tower that's like flat that lays down?
Oh yeah, I think
And you
so.
put the monitor on top.
Didn't they?
What was
Didn't they
that
go up
called?
to like thousands of like $10,000 or something
Was
like
it?
that?
Yeah.
Dang. It was just a floppy disk and a modem,
Yeah. Floppy disk modem,
some beat up keyboard. I don't know.
Apple.
It was also dubbed the MTV generation.
Mm-hmm.
What year did MTV start? Do you remember?
I'm guessing the 80s.
83.
Probably in the late 80s, early 90s.
So there's stereotypical, I guess, adjectives they called y'all. Roeun was cynical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
Like cynics, people being cynic.
I guess so.
Cynical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like pessimistic? Is that
Cynical.
the same?
I guess so.
Like synonymous.
I don't read that much. I'm bad at vocabulary. Probably why I didn't do so well at SATs. In music specifically, they were responsible for alternative rock, emergence of music videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the golden era of hip hop, punk rock also.
Yep.
In culture, there was each subculture, like hip hop or the punk rock or the alt rock.
Yeah.
They had their specific fashion sense. So they had that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like the 80s. They had a lot of different distinct styles.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
from genre to genre. Very interesting.
And I think that era did spark a lot of like brand new things. You know, like fashion and how media's like music videos first came out then.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a big thing until
Yeah.
the 80s, right?
Like there were music videos before, but it was just a recording of the band on a studio center,
Right.
like just performing the song. Now it's like, or at least in Gen X era, it's like actual narrative in their music videos and all
You
that
think-
stuff.
I don't know who started it, but do you think like Michael Jackson like popularized it, like the music video,
I think so.
like the way it is now?
It might be someone else too, though.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
because he had a, Thriller and all that.
Mhm.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it was actually another singer.
I think it was Paul McCartney.
Was it
Yeah.
the Beatles?
Yeah.
No, that's like the old school studio style of the music video. So like now, like it's more production involved and directors and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to watch. Sorry to go on a tangent, but it's hard for me to watch music videos because like it's hard for me to listen to the music and watch the video at the same time.
Like nowadays.
Yeah, so I don't really.
I hear you.
never
I
thought
agree
about
with you,
music
Ricky.
videos.
I never thought about that. Yeah, I never.
Like I don't know. I can't pay attention to both for some reason.
Has it always been like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And especially again with the higher production of the music videos. Like, damn, I can't pay attention to these lyrics because I'm busy watching what's going on.
Yeah, think about that now. I haven't been hyped for a video to drop for a certain song.
Yeah.
You know, not like back in the day.
Right. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never thought. I mean, yeah, I've never been excited for a music video. I don't think. Like, if it drops, it drops. I'll maybe watch it, but it's not. It's not like something I look forward to.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I would just take the music.
That makes sense. Dang, I didn't think about that. Cause like, I think it's because of YouTube and internet. Like, it's anybody could drop a music video anytime they want. Like, they don't have to-
So you're saying it's not as special, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of saturated.
yeah.
Hmm.
Cause like MTV, BT, there's always remember MTV was like world premiere.
Oh,
Yeah.
Remember that?
Uh-huh.
And it was like part of some band or Wu-Tang dropped a new music video. When Wu-Tang dropped a new music video, everybody's watching it.
I know.
Mhm.
But nowadays it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all over the place, so it's not as special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Social media, whatever. Yeah.
I remember my brother Billy. He recorded the Triumph music
Mhm.
video, Wu Tang,
on VHS.
on VHS. And we just watched that over and over again.
Rewind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. I made a little
I was like, how they-
slow jam mixtape.
Of music videos?
Yeah.
Dang.
just back to back.
Yeah,
Yeah, people
yeah.
did that back then.
Yeah. And nowadays you can just put it on save it as a favorite on your YouTube account and that's it.
We got Spotify too. You can listen to whatever you want.
On demand, everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess it's not as special no more. Dang. I guess I don't know. And production values aren't as high as they used to be. Remember Diddy and Puff Daddy at the time and Biggie.
Yeah.
Was it All Eyes on Me video or something?
Uh-huh. No, it was
No.
All eyes on me was Tupac.
No, I think it was
Hypnotize?
Biggie did Biggie did some big elaborate music video.
He had I remember it was Director X that made it or shot
Oh,
it.
I think it was
It was when they were driving backwards.
it was
I think it's
Hypnotized.
Hypnotized.
Yeah.
That was like what?
That was a fun one.
$2 million? $1 million?
I don't know, but
But those
pretty
budgets
fun.
are not $1 million anymore.
No.
I'm just saying, if you could have somebody with a GoPro or whatever and
Yeah,
be outside
iPhone,
the same thing.
Samsung,
Yeah,
whatever,
iPhone and
Android.
shoot in a neighborhood or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was music videos. The economy during Gen X. So this is a statistic I saw on Wikipedia. It said they generally earn 12% less than their baby boomer parents. Do you think? I think that's
for Gen X, you said.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, because if you think about it, both parents had to end up working at that time.
Yeah.
So the inflation was going up, and jobs weren't keeping up with the pay
Hmm.
to accommodate for the rise of prices.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the women, more women were starting to enter the workforce because of that, because of the inflation. Is there anything you want to say about your generation?
Well, in my generation, there was a time where both my parents had to work, and they would have somebody. They would have somebody that they knew, or hire a babysitter for me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that would freak me out
What? What happened?
because of the I guess because
Because
of
you didn't know them?
Yeah, I guess because of the emotional attachment I had with both my parents.
Ah, I gotcha. Yeah. Did any of your parents? Who started working first when they came to America? Your dad?
Yeah, my dad, then my mom. My mom worked in a factory too, but she said she couldn't take it after 6 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Then she just had like a bunch of like jobs left and right offered to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far apart were they when they like so your dad started working? How soon did your mom start working after your dad started?
I say within a year.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it wasn't too long then.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was working but my mom also worked, but she worked at home. She sewed flags.
Mm-hmm.
So she was
Yep.
always there.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, she was home, but he's technically working still.
Yeah.
Your dad, your mom.
My dad worked in a woodworking place,
Mhm.
like making wooden furniture.
Yeah.
And my mom, I think she had all kinds of jobs. I couldn't keep track, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Our generation, at least for us, immigrant kids, our parents are always working.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have the backbone of, I won't say backbone, the support of boomer grandparents. Right? It's the backing of like government subsidies helping us or taking advantage of. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Am I making sense?
You might have to explain it to me. I don't.
What am I trying to say? Like we didn't have the support of the government or being able to take advantage of low cost homes or families being part of the war. Because during post war they had a lot of money. Americans, not our parents.
Mhm.
But our parents are immigrants, so they didn't have that. Like,
I see what
we
you're
came
saying.
with nothing,
Right.
so we didn't have that much going for us.
Mm-hmm. Start from scratch, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Coming from a new country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to say for us because, yeah, immigrant kids, we didn't have much. We got what we had, and, like did the best they could. So,
Mhm.
and for Gen Y, which is me and Ricky, not the very start. So they said the years for Gen Y were 1980 to 2000, which
I don't think it's 2000. I've heard like 1980 to like 95.
mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like late, like at least late 2000s. Oh, I mean late 90s. Sorry.
97. I don't know. I don't
Probably.
think it reaches to the 2000s though.
Yeah. Well, so the term millennial obviously stems from millennium.
Would that be somebody born after 2000?
No, like I say mid 80s to mid 90s. So that's good.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I got two coworkers that are like real younger than me, and I feel real like I'm like big brother to them.
Did they call you a boomer?
No.
That's good.
Do they call you a Gen Xer?
Yeah. So I would just sarcastically just say millennial, but just say it nicely to them.
There might be Generation Z though, Ren. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, one of them just graduated high school recently, and the
They're
other
definitely
one, yeah, and
Gen Z then.
yeah, the other one started college.
So the generation of children. So millennials are kids that grew up as children going into the 2000s.
Yeah.
So we were still kids going into 2000s. You were still like almost a teen or preteen.
Yeah.
How old were you in 2001? 11, right? No.
No, about 21. No, I don't know.
You were in 80? My math sucks.
Yeah,
I think it
mine
was
too.
19 or
Okay,
21.
2000. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that our generation could be split into two generations.
How so?
Well, now that I say it out loud, it doesn't make sense.
What was your thought process?
Yeah, my thinking was that because me and you were before internet age, the internet explosion, and then there's a part of the millennial time frame that's after the internet explosion, which is AOL and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had internet.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
What was early internet, like Netscape?
Yeah,
Netscape, AOL,
like DSL.
yeah,
connection.
DSL, dial-up.
Because we had the very early AOL days, which was just slow websites and chat
You got
rooms.
mail. Yep,
Mhm.
I remember that.
Couldn't use the landline at the same time.
Yeah, couldn't
Yep.
use. Yeah, but then higher speed internet came about, and that just transformed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the internet explosion, like higher speed internet or websites.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't know, but probably. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. That happened all in such a short amount
Yeah.
of time.
It really did.
Just the rapid technology
Yeah.
growth. Like that was
I don't know.
crazy.
Would you consider that two generations? Well, technically, it's not like birthing or age differences. It's just
So you're saying like people who
it's cultural.
right, people like who remember or were born before like high speed internet,
Mm-hmm.
and then compared to those who were born after.
Yeah, because even talking to people that were born after, it's like say 96, 97,
Mm-hmm.
there's still a, I wouldn't say different thought process. It's more so, I guess it's different. Yeah, obviously it's different memory. I don't know.
Mentality? What are you trying to
Maybe I don't know. Like we grew up, we played outside, and were
okay. Now that you say that, I know what you're saying now.
versus them being online.
Yeah, like I guess the earlier millennials.
Mhm.
Yeah, like if we're going back to what 1980 you said would be
Mhm.
like the start of it. Yeah, they saw it all. I mean, they were only playing outside. You know, didn't have access
Yeah.
to all that. And then they went through the birth of the internet and high speed internet and this and that. I kind of get what you're saying.
It's a lot. It's a lot of thinking. I can't put it into words, but
I get it.
yeah. So we grew up at, like I said, it's two social, what do you call it, social cultural things that happen. I feel like, I don't know.
Two different, yeah, social,
It's not-
cultural.
It's not generational.
Something.
Yeah.
I'm fidgeting with a lot of stuff. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's all right.
And
That's
my
why
chair keeps creaking.
That's why I got those fidget toys right there.
It's just making a lot of noises.
So the internet explosion is the World Wide Web, the www browsing websites were starting to be created. I remember going on ToysRUs.com a lot, and KB Toys, just looking at toys and all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember Yahoo when the internet came around back in late middle school, early high school, I think.
Did you have AIM? I'm sure you had AIM, right?
Yeah.
We all had AIM.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't talk to anybody that on AIM. I just had because you have to have a screen name for AOL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I did was look up toys and Nickelodeon.com.
Went to CartoonNetwork.com.
That's where they had the Flash games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Man, how fast did the internet develop? Okay, so is AOL... Was Flash already a thing?
I think Flash came before AOL.
I don't know. I don't remember it until high speed internet, but
Okay.
Maybe I just didn't know what it was back then.
Yeah. Did you ever play that Dragon Ball Z game on Cartoon Network or Toonami.com?
I played some kind of.
It was like a turn-based.
Yeah, I think
game.
I did at one point.
Man.
Yeah, I think so. I remember there was a Gundam game.
Yeah, I remember that too. That was fun.
It was like with the tiles. And
Yeah.
move
That's
piece by
turn-based
piece.
too, right?
Yeah. Like strategy.
There's chat rooms.
Yeah.
I've never been to any of those chat rooms because I knew that was not my space to be in. A lot of weirdos.
Smart.
Were
Very
you
smart.
in there?
Yeah, I mean, back then trolling, you know. I mean,
You
before
were early
trolling
trolling.
was a term. They called it, I think the earliest thing they called it was griefing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned that from Counter-Strike.
Oh, yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Were you in chat rooms, Roeun?
Couple.
Which ones?
Rather not say.
I'd rather not say. I'll tell you guys off the recording.
All right.
I don't know.
That made it sounded really ominous.
I know. And then high-speed internet. I remember high-speed internet, at least the DSL started coming out. I was in middle school, right? High school?
Yeah. Sure.
Probably high school. We adopted high-speed internet late, though, so it was probably earlier than that. I remember when we first got DSL, I thought it was the fastest thing ever. I remember my brother was like, "Yeah, we got new internet now." I was like, "What do you mean, new internet?" It's like, "It's faster. Watch." You try to sign in online, and then my brother picked up the landline. He started using the phone. I was like, "Wait, you can do that now?"
How?
DHL.
Damn. What
Yeah.
a revolution.
I know, right?
That was crazy. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw it was at Jeremy's house.
Mhm.
His dad, he worked for Comcast. So he got the high speed internet.
Was he the first
early.
one in the family? to have that?
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
I
wow.
remember I was like, went to a probably like Internet Explorer browser.
Yes, that's what it was.
Clicked the page and it just like popped up immediately.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
what?
So wait, you don't
is
need to
going
sign in?
on? You don't got to see the page like load
Oh, yeah.
downwards, like paragraph by paragraph.
You don't have to see the or hear the classic AOL dial-up noise.
Uh-huh. The old 52K modem.
Man, that was crazy.
And after DSL, was it FiOS? Oh, yeah, FiOS.
I don't know. I don't know the history.
No,
of
I mean,
this
for
stuff.
me, it was FiOS they had. So,
Yeah,
and that just sped everything up, like Netflix and online videos.
Yeah,
All that stuff.
agreed. Yes.
So,
It blew up
yeah,
really
so
quick.
after the internet, let's talk the economics of Generation Y, which is they say we earn 20% less than baby boomers, and I found an article. Not an article. It was a Twitter thread.
Uh-huh.
Well, they say millennials. Not this is an article from CNBC.
I think I put the same notes as you then.
You did.
Yeah, I found that same.
So it said millennials earn 20% less than baby boomers did, despite being better educated.
Yeah, that's what I had in the notes.
So I could be off base, but I think we are better educated. So,
But
yeah.
make less money.
Yeah, like we do have a lot of skills, in a lot of different fields.
Mm-hmm. You think we're
I don't
working
know.
like, because we're making 20% less on average than baby boomers, we're working harder to make as much,
Yes,
like live the same kind of not lifestyle, but
just be comfortable.
yeah,
Yeah,
make a living, I guess.
and I think I
Comfortable.
wrote us a little note about that too, because I work 3 jobs
Mhm.
and I'm making enough to live comfortably.
Right.
But whereas, I guess if you go further back into the past to the boomers, they had one job and they buying houses and cars and feeding families and
Yeah,
stuff.
they paid for everything that one job, right?
Yeah, so
So
I think it has to do with the inflation too. Like jobs can't keep up with the pay rate and then the price of living and all that stuff. So
yeah.
so
So you think that kind of sucks because some people just have no choice but to have multiple jobs, like even a second job or a side hustle.
yeah, and that's what I wrote down too. That we started, I guess, some of us started the gig economy,
Yeah.
which is
right.
a lot of us having more than one jobs,
Mhm.
whether it's more than one part-time jobs or just whatever it is.
Mhm.
Because we recognize that our wages from all the gigs doesn't really add up to, for living comfortably.
Right.
So I mean, we gotta do it just to make it, man.
That's a bummer, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you're spending a lot of time, just making
working.
ends meet. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tough. Like, I saw a meme my friend posted on Facebook. It was a Walmart worker, and she looked happy, saying, "Yeah, Walmart just opened up in this area, and they provided 3,000 plus jobs.
Mhm.
I have 3 of those jobs, and I'm still having a hard time paying my bills."
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's like
Crazy.
which is true because you can have a lot of jobs and you just barely make it.
Right. And you said even if you were educated, right, like went to college and
Yeah.
did all that.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's even hard for newly graduated students with a degree to even find a job.
Yeah, I hear about that all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't, graduate college or
Yeah.
go to college, but yeah, you always hear about that and like, how crazy tuition is.
Mhm.
Like it seems
Yeah.
tough. Like,
Tuition,
after
don't even get started in tuition. So did we talk about this earlier? Earlier in the episode, I can't remember.
I don't think
But-
so. We didn't say tuition at all.
Yeah,
had a big increase since
dramatic
back then, right?
increase.
Yeah.
A huge increase. So price of education is way too expensive now. Whereas I've heard back then, the boomers only had to work a part-time job and they paid for the school.
Oh yeah, you
Now-
did mention that. That's
yeah.
the tuition thing you mentioned.
Now we had to pull out loans that probably could never repay back. Especially now, like the price of college is skyrocketed since I left.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a note down about tuition. It says students at public 4-year institutions paid an average of $3,190 in tuition for the 1987 to 1988 school year. And that's with prices adjusted to reflect 2017 dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And then so 30 years later, that average has risen to $9,970 for the 2017-2018 school year, which is a 213% increase.
And they're saying that I don't know. It's hard to get an education now because it's so much money, and it's like it deters people wanting to get an education.
Right, yeah. And I'm all for people going to college if they find something they want to do, but I don't think they should go to, like, just because they
think they have to.
Yeah.
Because the
like,
society.
that's just what you do.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this on
I think
one
we
episode
did.
too?
I think we did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I am for people getting education,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's kind of changed. Like, it's changed to where if you know what you want to do, then yes, go to college.
Right.
If you don't know, if you're going as undeclared, don't go.
That's a trap.
It's a trap because you're gonna spend longer time in school, which means more money
Mm-hmm.
to be spent.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna be undeclared but still want education, go to community college and get those credits first because I think it's still cheap.
Yeah, community college is
still cheap. Definitely. Yeah, versus university. But yeah, it's tough too because as the years go on, like what kind of good jobs will be there that pays high? Even though pay is not, there's also trade schools too, and that's another thing. The talk I went to with the Temple Grandin lady professor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a lot of trade jobs aren't being fulfilled anymore. Like there's always a shortage of say, tree cutters and welders because nobody wants to do those jobs anymore.
What about like mechanics and stuff, like hands-on stuff?
I feel like mechanics are still a big thing because it's like it's always in high demand. Mm. But like tree cutters and those other hardcore, I don't know what the word is. More other trade jobs. It's not as wanted or nicely, not nicely. It's not as wanted. Not what am I saying?
Not as popular.
Not as popular. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. Because I guess it's not being introduced to people as youngsters.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I don't know anyone who's like, yeah, I think I want to be a woodcutter.
Yeah, and they pay well, and there's a good industry to work for. It's just that it doesn't seem as appealing.
Right, I think that's
a
good way to put it.
Yeah, because like today, and I guess we could jump into Generation Z now. Like everybody wants to be famous, like YouTube famous, internet famous now, which is. Like I don't see them being trade workers or anything. So
or like work an office job,
Yeah, and I guess we can jump into Generation Z now. So Generation Z is like what 2000. You agree with that to current?
Yeah, I guess I don't know the cutoffs. What year were you born? 90?
90.
Okay, I was 91. So
right in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Before we moved on, like probably the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Back to Gen Y real quick. Or millennials. What they say? We're the only generation to experience 3 decades. Was it? No, millennial because they were born in the 80s, 90s, and 2000.
Yeah.
Wait. Well, so did boomers though. Experience 3.
Yeah. What do you say?
3 cultural changes because the internet.
Uh-huh.
And there was like, what was it? Like media. And social media. Social media is another big cultural change after internet age.
Yes.
I found it. I thought I had linked an article on this. It's a different Twitter feed. Let me find that Twitter feed real quick.
Oh yeah, and like also with millennials, and like it's harder to buy a home and this and that because of the recession and everything.
And we were talking about potentially buying a home.
Yeah. And it's looking tough.
Yeah. See, I don't know, because here's my mindset on that. Because I don't want to feel like I'm locked down to it with a big mortgage and loan to have in my name. And I could be wrong about the whole, I don't know anything about home buying, mortgages, anything like that. But
the most common thing I've seen is that buying a home is one of the best ways to invest your money. I don't know the reasons or whatnot, but looking into it a little
property, that's all I know.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it is a good idea still to buy a house, but I don't know much about that.
Yeah.
That's just what I keep hearing.
Yeah, it's just I think it's just a sense of me being locked down to that area.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Especially with today's gig economy, things can always change and
Yeah.
we move. So I found this article on Board Panda. It's a guy. The headline is "Guy lists why millennials are the most unique generation of all time," and his Twitter thread goes viral. So this dude, he just posted a bunch of tweets or tweeted a bunch of things on saying why we are the best.
Okay.
So
Do they have some reasons?
yeah, it's I think it's pretty spot on too. So I'm gonna read this from top to bottom. People born in 1985 and 1995, those are his millennial years,
Oh, okay.
are the most unique generation of all time. And here's why. They are in between two generations, the one before the internet and technology took over and the generation after. The generation before us, which was Generation X, was old school and believed in hardworking. The generation after us, Generation Z, believes in working smart. We saw it all: radio, TV, Mario, WAP Trick. I don't know what that is. Nokia, N64, Samsung, iPhone, PS4, tape, CD, DVDs, Mix It, MIG 32, MIG 32, Netflix, Snapchat, emojis, and VR. The generation before us can be scanned with simple emails asking for money and offering love.
Damn.
The generation after us, Generation Z, knows it's better to have multiple emails, one for serious stuff, one for social media, one for financial transactions, other for experiments, for things you don't trust.
I agree.
Yep. We're the generation that knows tradition and question it, picking from it. Let me read that again. We are the generation that knows tradition and questions it, picking from. That don't make sense. Okay, hold on. We are the generation that knows tradition and question it, picking from it what makes sense to us. So you're picking out what makes sense to us from the previous generation. Okay.
I see.
The generation before us knew no questions. The generation after us knows no tradition. That makes sense?
I see what he's saying. Yeah.
We are the gap between the industrial age and the internet age. We understand both sides from experience. We should be running the world. The old guys don't understand what's going on anymore. The new guys don't fully understand where what's going to come. What? Sorry. We should be running the world. The old guys don't understand what's going on anymore. The new guys don't fully understand where what's going on came from. That makes sense?
Maybe he was
Where what's going on came
a
from?
typo or something. I don't know.
Basically, he's saying the generation, probably boomers and some of Generation X, aren't in touch of what society has become now because of the cultural changes. And he's saying that the new generation doesn't understand why things are now and how they are now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. That one though, like, is that unique to millennials though? Don't you think like the next generation can think that same way too? Like, say like Generation Z, they'll be like, oh, eventually, as the years go on, they'll be like, millennials, they're out of touch now. They don't know what's going on, and then the generation after Z.
Yeah.
I mean, can you say that about that last tweet about any generation?
Yeah. And I have a thought about that too, but I think I'm more open-minded than probably most of our other people in our age group, but I feel like I'm more accepting of changes. Like, I understand, because we've been through the cultural changes and we've seen how it works. And I think that made me more open to allowing the younger generation, if they have a better process of how they do things, handle things, then let them handle it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, I would say millennials are in that good position because again, with like the rise of technology, how everything changed so quickly. We grew up learning how to use all these different kinds of technology.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like a skill in itself that I don't know that we've just adapted to.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the older generation, sometimes they have hard time keeping up with technology,
Yeah.
and they were already fully grown adults by the time like
And they were working adults too.
yeah, like like say more recently smartphones and stuff. I still know some adults that like don't really know how to
Yeah.
use smartphones or the internet and stuff.
When you mean adults, at what age?
I guess like over 40,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I expect that too, though.
Yeah.
So.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I don't think millennials
We'll have that problem.
will have that problem. Like when we get older, like even if there's new technology when we're like 40, 50 years old.
We'll explore it more.
Yeah, because we've grown up having to already learn how to adapt like brand new technology into our lives.
And constantly adapt. To
Yeah,
new
in
ones.
such a short amount of time too. So,
But yeah, that's the end of the thread. His final tweet was, "If you enjoyed this thread and wouldn't mind following, please do. And remember, all generations are unique. Ours is just the most. And no, we are not extending the range. I guess age
Damn.
range. Yeah. If you want to follow this guy, his name is, I don't know if it's still the same, Zambian influencer at Zed influencer, ZED influencer. I don't follow him, but
sounds a little biased, but I see some of his points.
yeah, I do too. Like especially the points where he says we've been through two generations, understand, like because we're not right in the middle of like
Right.
two different cultural things.
Like the middle child.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a good little Twitter thread to talk about.
Mhm.
And Generation Z, that with 2000s to current. What's the next generation? 2020 or no? Is that right? Like Generation Alpha. That's
Oh, I guess I don't know.
that'd be 2020. There's a 20-year difference. So I call them the internet and social media generation.
Who, Z or
The Z's.
The Z's. Yeah.
Because
Makes sense.
we are the internet age, well, because it exploded then.
Mm-hmm.
But their generation, they are already in the internet age when they were born, but they took it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
I think with social media, at least.
Okay.
They grew up like social media and that generation like grew up together.
Yeah. Like my niece and my nephews, they're already on YouTube. Like it's like they already know how to use it before I even taught them how to
Yeah,
use it.
I seen a lot of babies. They already know how to use.
Yeah, my nephew
tablets
knows how to
and
use
phones.
YouTube and
And-
play games on his.
Which is insane because
Even before you like they're able to talk.
He even knows how to video call me when he misses me.
for real,
Yeah.
it's insane because like the first thing I learned was how to do my ABCs, and it
Times
feels
have
like
changed.
and it feels
Yeah.
like the kids are the first thing you learn is how to use YouTube or a tablet or
yeah,
Internet.
navigate the computer.
yeah.
That's pretty wild.
And I had that's my next note was able to navigate how various forms of social media and digital social interactions work, which is I think they take internet marketing to a whole new level because
Mhm.
I don't know how they figure this stuff out.
Yep.
Like how the target is not. I don't think it's because they strategically do it on purpose. I think they just do it and know which keywords in quotes to use or say. I don't know. It's like the viral age too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have to be viral to be famous. And they're already growing up in a world that's already widely connected. So they could probably have friends from different countries and parts of the states.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Whereas us, I just know Roeun from down the street.
I've got internet friends.
Now,
Yeah.
currently,
Mhm.
I
I've
have
never met them. I've known them for 10 years. Quote
Dang.
unquote. Yeah.
You
I
never
got
met them in person?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
I got internet friends and I got a little circle and then I got people that I know within the family too, and I connect with my parents' circle too.
You think we're being too connected, or is that a good thing or bad thing? Because I know the FCC is trying to figure out how to regulate all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's how early this internet stuff still is. Like, there's not even regulations on how to
Yeah.
police it.
I don't know if we're too connected. I mean, in certain aspects,
Yeah.
yeah. I like think a lot of things that are easy to get to that people probably shouldn't have
Yeah,
access to
yeah,
so
true.
easily. But I don't know. I don't know how you regulate that.
I feel like because of I'm calling it the social media age now. We are more connected to subgroups now.
Yeah.
Like I'm more connected to the design groups and art groups online now. Like even though I don't know them, like it's a place where we share our work.
I
Kind of like
see.
Reddit, I guess.
Yeah, like a sub
In a
community.
Yeah. Um.
Like just being connected to like-minded people.
Mhm,
right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm.
Like I'm not part of it, but there's a thing called furries. There's a group that's
Furries.
big now. What's a furry?
It's
I hear it a lot.
You know what? Anthropomorphic.
What's half
I have
animal?
no idea,
Anthropomorphic
Ricky, explain.
animals.
It's like half animal, half subhuman.
It's like animals that, yeah, I guess like look like humans or humans that look like animals.
Like humanoid animals.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that. Yeah. I guess it's just people that are attracted to that kind of stuff.
Is that what Belle Delphine is supposed to aspire to be?
I have no clue. I don't know anything about her.
I just know H3 talks about her a lot.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I don't know.
Yeah, like subcultures, subgroups. Those are a big thing now,
Yeah.
especially with the political groups too.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you part of any subgroups online? Subculture groups that you follow?
No, I'm just
The vaping community, that's a big subgroup, right?
yeah, that's a big subgroups. It's three that I follow online, and I follow them on Twitter.
Which also, now to think about it, I think those could, in some ways, be dangerous too. There could always be one bad apple that's extreme,
Yeah,
spreading like,
yeah,
as we call it, propaganda thoughts, I guess.
Yeah. That's with everything.
Conspiracy
though.
thoughts. Yeah.
uh-huh.
Religion,
Mhm.
you know.
Freedom of choice, all that word, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of groups are you in?
I'm not really like active in any groups.
Yeah.
I just lurk a lot on the internet. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not like like I said, active. Like
Yeah, I don't really
involved.
share much in my, because like I said, I'm part of those like creative artsy groups. Like,
Yeah.
I don't share my work. I just observe.
Yeah, I guess I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I don't really interact. I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, dang, you haven't met your friends online yet?
Not yet. Maybe one day. Met on TF2, Team
Mhm.
Fortress 2.
And where are they based out of, like other states?
Yeah. Currently, there's two that are married to each other. I think they're in San Diego right now, but they've been moving all over the place, like Rhode Island, Florida. They might be moving to Hawaii eventually.
Oh shit.
And then one guy in Minnesota,
Minnesotas.
Minnesota.
St. Paul. Yeah, good people. I still talk. We don't play TF2 anymore,
Mhm.
and I like rarely play any games together. But I still always see them on Steam. You know,
Okay.
we'll talk every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that's out of state on my. I follow a lot of people on Instagram,
Me too.
and I chat with some people, but I don't really. I don't know. I'm an associate, not a friend.
Associate.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the I guess you could call it the part where you say the people using the social media to communicate and I guess make their mark or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm beginning to get used to using Snapchat.
I hate Snapchat.
Yeah, me too. I like yeah.
He's beginning to get into it, but he hates it already.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's really to the point where I just want to delete it off my iPhone.
Yeah.
The Snapchat. I like Instagram for just to browse and look at art.
Mm-hmm.
Communications and just being loud. I just like using Facebook.
Do you use Twitter?
Yes.
Do you like tweet stuff?
No, I just follow people and just retweet.
Yeah.
I tweet here and there.
Yeah, it's funny. My Twitter is mostly for professional wrestling.
Mm.
My Instagram is mostly just
Professional wrestling.
no. It's it's more my personality for my Instagram. Like it's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like Facebook, I don't post anything anymore.
Mm.
I go back and delete my old posts
Damn.
because there's a feature on Facebook. Every day there's a section called on this day, so it shows or memories.
Yeah, I think you told me about that.
It shows everything you posted
On that exact day from
on
years
that
back.
day
Wow.
from years back. And I go
Interesting.
back and delete all the old stuff.
Something I saw recently, and you probably already know, but like Facebook, they has a thing like if you pass away, you can like give someone access to your Facebook and
Yeah.
they can do stuff with it or whatnot.
I had a friend that passed away years ago. I wonder if how that because I always sees like whatever date or literally the day he passed away, and when his birthday comes up on Facebook. How does that happen?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure about your comment. I don't know if it's a setting where like if something happens to me, this person has access. I don't know if it's like that.
I think it's like they, from what I understand, like say like you like have Facebook, right?
Mhm.
And I guess you go to a thing where it's like, if you happen to pass away, do you want to have this certain person have access to your
I didn't see that
Facebook
in
or
the
whatever?
settings.
I forgot what it's called, but okay, I guess you don't know about it. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask like, do other social media platforms have that kind of thing? Like,
I don't think so,
okay,
but I have seen Facebook turn some profiles into remembering.
Yeah, whatever. So and so this day. Yeah.
But I think that's because, and I don't think it's like a will thing, like this person accessing it.
right?
I think it's more
It's
so a family member that also has it.
Mm.
You need to contact Facebook/legacy or something like that, and
Oh, that's what it was. Legacy,
Mhm.
Facebook legacy, or
and
something.
notify Facebook this person is no longer with us.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Mhm.
And they changed the profile into remembering such and such.
And then you can also like delete it, right? Like that person
I
can
think
give
so.
access to it.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
so. But I don't know what the parameters or procedures are to prove that you're close
Who you say you
relations
are.
to that person.
Okay.
But yeah, one not final thing, I guess. One thing I want to talk about too. Why do older generations hate millennials? Like,
Well,
what is the
before
stigma?
that, do they hate Generation Z as much, or just millennials right now?
I think they categorize Z as millennials too,
Okay.
which is the funny thing.
I mean, I think because they're next in line to
Take
quote
over?
unquote run the world. Yeah.
What is the funny things they always say about millennials? Like, because now they use the term millennials as a slur. You ever
Right. Yeah. Like
catch that?
millennials.
Yeah,
that,
like
yeah.
snowflakes. I don't know, whatever.
I think that's why people started calling the older people boomers.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
to get
I
back.
saw a meme. It was a Yu-Gi-Oh meme.
Mm.
The dude with the blue eyes white dragon. What's his name? Kaiba?
Seto Kaiba.
Seto Kaiba?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's him.
It was a meme that said, so he had a blue eyes white dragon.
Mhm.
He was like, whatever thought bubble said, it says, okay, millennial. No, wait. No, it said boomer. On the thought bubble, it says boomer is a slur. You can't call me that.
Mhm.
And then Yugi came out with a card, and his card said, so is millennial. And in the third illustration, it was Kaiba doing his little dramatic defeat face. I don't know. If I show you the meme, it's probably funnier. But
Yeah, it's hard to describe memes. They're
yeah.
like, oh, it's so funny. This
yeah.
It's like,
But yeah,
so
is
what
it
was the
because they
question?
think we're lazy?
Oh,
We're not lazy. I'm working like 3 jobs.
Well, I mean, I guess because they're again like they could only see from their perspective,
Mhm.
So maybe they just don't understand what the. Sorry, there was like a dust thing floating
I
around.
thought it was like you saw the cat again.
They don't like. I mean, yeah, like they can only see from their perspective, so it's not like they can see from the point of view of younger generations. I guess I don't know.
Mhm.
They just don't understand.
Yeah.
Do we understand the older generation? Is there anything to learn from that?
We learned that they kind of messed it up for us, making everything so expensive. I forgot what I was gonna say. Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
What was it about?
I saw another article. It said millennials are to blame for the downfall of Applebee's and Chili's and those
What?
American restaurants.
Because we don't go there.
Yeah, it was like and I forgot who wrote it, but it was like, yeah, millennials prefer like homegrown restaurants and foods with better ingredients and stuff. Because
That's
Chili's and
not a bad
Applebee's
thing.
just microwave stuff. So
Yeah. Boston market too, I think.
and the people are sad that Applebee's is starting to close down their restaurants everywhere and all
Uh.
that.
Yeah, slowly.
Okay, I mean,
It's
I
not
have
my
no
problem.
steak at Applebee's.
I've never been to Applebee's before, so it's not my problem. What else was there? Just a bunch of articles with headlines that said
Millennials get blamed
are
for everything.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, what? I guess we are at a disadvantage, don't you think?
In terms
With the
of what?
tuition and
Yeah, and
less pay and more expensive housing and this and that.
yeah, but and on the flip, not the flip side, but like that's because when they were in school, the boomers, like I said earlier, their tuition was dirt cheap,
Yeah.
and just because they think they did it with just a part-time job, they're always complaining that we can't do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, maybe they are still thinking the same as
It's-
they did back then,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like going back to what you said too.
But things
Um,
changed.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, buying a house it's easier then than it is now. Um, what else do they complain about? You know what else they complain about? Like why they hate millennials so much?
Probably because of the generation gap, and not I guess not somewhat of what I read of not respecting their elders, and like just keeping up with times or cultures or something, or just
Yeah.
want to be loud in there, try to be, I guess you would call it, the elephant of the room.
I guess so. Another thing too, remember that we talked about this a little bit earlier. That New Zealand Senate person, she was talking about like climate change and trying to make the world greener and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that's another thing too. Like I'm for trying to make this planet more greener, right?
Yeah.
So, and there's some older people that don't want that, and they're kind of blaming, or not blaming, but like using the term millennial as a slur against us again, while we're us wanting to make the world green. I don't know.
Why
It's
would
like,
you hate that though?
I know what I'm
That's what I don't
saying. Like
understand.
it's like whenever AOC Alexandria Ocasio Ocasio Cortez,
I think so.
Cortez. Whenever she wants to talk about her Green New Deal, like I always see in the comment section, people, oh snowflake, you millennials. Like okay, I'm sorry that I want to breathe fresh air, right? So what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with breathing fresh air?
When did it become so bad?
When it becomes so bad?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's also, I don't want to get into politics, but like ever since like more people of color and women of color are starting getting into politics, people are being more angry, which is stupid because I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not a political podcast.
No.
Yeah. Are we gonna hate Generation Z? I don't think we are, right?
No.
I know.
No.
I probably won't.
I don't feel any type of way
Yeah, I don't
against
No.
them.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, maybe
I mean,
the Yeezys.
but I think with any generation, there's going to be some
type of
people you
pushback.
understand, some people you don't.
Yeah,
They can't be all good or all bad.
yeah. But I'll say this on record now that I feel like I'm more open to any changes that would happen.
Right.
Like I wouldn't be like, oh, you Generation Zer. I don't know.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like that. And hopefully they don't.
you doing there?
Hopefully they don't see us as the boomer type of people. I don't
Not
know.
yet.
I don't know.
There's still time.
Who knows? Oh man, Roeun, the Generation X. Any final thoughts on what are your thoughts on Generation Z? Because you're like a 30-year difference.
Yeah. I say generation. Your generation is probably slowly going to be my generation. Slowly, far as being a
In position of society.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do you have any thoughts about how Generation Z is turning out to be? Because they're starting to get older now.
Yeah.
I
So-
think some of them are in college, right? That's the
Yeah.
oldest Generation Zers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got to
Like
be.
freshmen in college.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any thoughts on them?
No.
No thoughts yet.
No
Not
thoughts
yet.
yet.
We'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I still have hope.
How do you feel about your generation, millennials?
Currently?
Yeah.
Because of the internet and how I see how everybody interacts with each other, I still feel like there's a lot of work to do. Some of us, our age group, some people in our age group still have beliefs, not beliefs, but like, well, maybe beliefs where it's similar to Generation Z and older. Like, I don't know, not conforming to changes and stuff.
Mm.
And there's some that's progressive for change and making the world green and all that stuff. We're definitely helping planting the seeds for the future,
That's right.
like wanting drastic change because of how technology advances and how society advances. We need to keep up with those rate of change.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of us are in the forefront of ushering that in for the future. Yeah. I have hope still. We'll see how it goes though.
Okay.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. What about you?
I think I'll agree with what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I had a thought while you were talking, but oh, okay. So, yeah, I think like older, like say like, and this is like huge generalization, but I don't want it to be like that. But, like millennials and Gen Z, I feel like on average they're more concerned with, taking care of the planet for future generations to come. And the older generation are more concerned about keeping their wealth, like keeping things the same for them. Because I guess the younger generation, they want like the older ones to share their resources, like, with like taxing billionaires and this and that, like just be able to share the wealth, so to speak, with everyone. But the older generation don't really want to do that. So I think that's why there's that kind of divide.
The gap, yeah. Now that you said that, it makes me think like, just to kind of polish up what you said. Our generation and Z generation, we're more social minded, like we want to take care of each other kind of thing. Whereas generation previous to us
wants to look out for themselves.
Yeah. Protect their money. I saw like one of these local ads on Facebook lately. It said, or Instagram too. It said, because we had the elections recently, the local elections for the state. There's a headline or like a quote that says, "People over profit." You know what I'm saying? Meaning, let's help the people instead of cashing out of money.
Yeah.
Or cashing in the money. I don't know what you're saying. But yeah, I think, I feel like I'm more social minded as far as helping other people that needs it. Like, Medicare and all that stuff. Not a political podcast, but yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't mind if I knew that my tax dollars were to help people that need medical attention, medical bills and all that stuff, and education too, then I wouldn't mind paying the taxes. But since I don't know where those taxes are going really, then I don't know.
You don't feel as comfortable.
Yeah. And that's another thing. We're not a political podcast, but I feel like one thing I would like to see in the future is I want to see receipts of where my tax dollars go exactly.
Agreed.
That's one thing I want to see. But yeah.
This reminds me of a J. Cole song.
He talks about
was it Brackets, I think, on KOD.
KOD. Okay.
Album. He talks about all that. Like he wants to know where his tax dollar goes to.
Like I want to see the receipt. I want to see that my county or whatever has that money.
Right.
So anyway, any final thoughts? Big Bad Roeun?
Yeah. I'm digging the new Wu-Tang album and the newest Nas album.
Which one? What?
Did they come out with stuff recently?
Yeah. YouTube.
Oh.
I
would have heard about the Nas one by now. I didn't get one.
You're talking about like a couple months ago?
Yeah,
there's like last tape.
Oh wow.
Too.
Yeah.
You're taking us back to a few months ago.
I was about to say, like, is this brand new?
I don't know. Oh, another thing. Sorry.
Yep.
You brought up music from, Wu-Tang and Nas, probably early 90s. Language, too, over time has changed.
Yes.
Like, you have to be more conscious of what you say now. Because it hurts or offends
somebody.
Subcultures.
Yeah.
I think at that time, though, because they weren't so connected to other subcultures of communities, like they just weren't aware of what they were saying that would hurt people. And now, because we are so connected, like, I know I'm more mindful of what I say, and I'm training myself to not say it again and not think that way again.
Right.
But there's some older folks, mostly Generation Z, and some of our generation millennials are not so acceptive of conforming or changing,
Mm.
which I kind of get, but also like, yo, you can't say that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
just a bad look sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you could probably think that, but just don't say it. I guess I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying the right things.
Mm.
Because I know some people, they still say some things that's not gonna fly anymore. But
Yeah.
luckily, they don't say it on social media because they're not on social media. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my last thought. You got anything?
Yeah.
You said you wanted to say something.
Yeah. Rest in peace to one of my favorite actors, John Witherspoon.
Oh yeah, Pops.
Mhm.
Pops. He did, man. I Google his list of movies and stuff. His resume takes up probably the whole Google.
No, that's
thing.
because you looked him up.
No, I'm talking about
The entirety of Google.
yeah, I'm talking about him as an actor, entertainer. What he did in the
did a lot
entertainment
of work.
industry.
He hit a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew John Witherspoon best from the Wayans brothers. I knew he's famous on Friday,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but I knew him more from the Wayans brothers. And I followed some of his work after that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'll always remember you, Pops, with your tacky shirts and your sparkly white leather shoes. That's
And it's 3 words.
what.
Bang bang bang.
Yeah, that's my shout out. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon. Also, shout out to Alex and Shannon for your wedding. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Who else? I think that's it. You got anything?
Shout outs to the PBS skeletons from last episode.
Somebody brought that up to me too.
I think it was Tino,
Was it
probably,
Tina?
right?
Oh yeah. that's
I
right.
did mention it.
Yeah.
And shout out to my internet friends,
Yeah.
Chris, Kara, and Dan.
Do they listen?
No.
Okay.
They have no clue.
Okay.
I didn't tell them.
Who you got, Rueun?
Let me see. Let me shout out my boy YetFit. Shout out to my boy Ty Dolla Signs.
Oh yeah, Ty Dolla No Sign.
Yeah.
We gotta talk soon.
Shout out to my boys Kicks Boomin'.
All right, Alex,
Shout out to my boy Moment Brand.
Kirk. Okay.
Yep. Shout out to my boy Barack.
Oh yeah, how about Virac? We always shout out
Yeah,
Virac.
uh-oh.
Shout out to
We're
Virac.
slipping.
Oh no, Virac's
Damn.
not getting me now.
You gotta
Y'all
edit.
two are fire. You're supposed to remind me.
You gotta edit it so his name is first.
Oh, yeah.
out.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, Rueun.
Follow us on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Follow us on Facebook, social media.
At Full Timers Pod. You can follow me at Vilacron on Instagram and Twitter.
You can follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, at Roeun.
And you can follow Ricky on Steam.
Yep.
He'll play video games.
I'm not saying my username though.
Yeah.
You just gotta find me somehow.
Yeah, figure it out. Anyway, that's it, y'all.
Bye.
Like this.